welcome. If you're new here, my name is Rhonda with Rhonda's Craft Frenzy. I appreciate you spending your time here with me today, so thank you so much for that. Today, I'm going to show you how I put together these super cute Easter DIYs that's sure to spruce up your home just in time for the holiday. So let's get right to it. I'll beat you to the craft table. I start out with this cute bunny sign from the Dollar Tree. It had a spring banner on it, which I removed, and then I sanded it until it was smooth. Then I painted it with Waverly's Mineral Color chalk paint, and it took 2 coats to cover those bright colors. Once the paint was dry, I used this felt bunny head again, as I have in other videos, to trace out the face and the ears on it. Next thing I did was use my Artisan marker pens to paint on the face. The nose and the inside of the ears I used a pink color, and the eyes and the mouth I used black. Then I went over the brighter pink on the ears and the nose with the paler pink to dull out a little bit of the brightness and to give it a little bit more interest and shading. I also used that lighter pink color to make some cheeks, and then I smeared it with my finger a little bit to blend it out a bit. I then used Waverly's truffle colored chalk paint in a dry brush technique to give it a little age. I did this to the edges and a few strokes over the surface. I sanded it to blend out the brush strokes a bit when the paint was dry. I used some of this roll of burlap from Walmart to make a pocket on the front of the bunny. I cut the burlap to size and then I hot glued it, leaving a gap at the front. Next, I thought this cute spring banner would go nice right at the top of that pocket. One came on the sign that had multicolored letters, so I just grabbed it and I painted the letters white and I hot glued it in place. I added some moss, hoping that the stems of the flowers wouldn't poke through, and it worked. Lastly, I added some sprigs of lavender from Walmart. I arranged them until I was happy. I added a hanger on the back and he was done. I think he's super cute. I hope you do too. For my second DIY of the day, it was super simple and customizable. I started out with this scrap fabric. I cut it into strips, and I also had a grapevine wreath from the Dollar Tree. I took the strips and wrapped them around the wreath, a little bit more than halfway. You could do the whole thing or you could do less, whatever you want to do. And of course, use whatever fabric you'd like. I simply wrapped the strips around using hot glue to attach it, mostly at the beginning and the end of each piece, until I was satisfied with the look. I made this gnome, and if you'd like to see how, you can look at my previous Easter video to see that. I placed a wire in a crisscross manner right through him. Don't worry, he didn't complain. I wrapped the wire around the wreath to hold him in place. Once that part was done, he was still a little bit wobbly, so I hot glued a craft stick to his backside onto the wreath under his hair where you wouldn't see it, and for more stability, I added another piece of wire around that. I used this pretty pick from the Dollar Tree under him, as if he was sitting on them. And again, you can add whatever flowers of your choosing or leave them out. I really liked it both ways, and I was kind of on the fence about using them. So what do you guys think, yay or nay with the flowers? The last thing I did was add a bow in the same fabric, and he was done. This one is a little outside my comfort zone with all that color, but I still think he came out really cute. Let me know what you all think. For my last one of the day, I used 2 packages of those foam dice from Dollar Tree that you find in the toy section, and I gave them a base coat of white. Once they were dry, I went back over them with a dry brush in a pink and a mineral color mixed together just to make a more muted out pink. I did that on only 2 of the dice. On that third dice, I used this scrap material that came from a fleece baby blanket from Dollar Tree. I cut it to size and I Mod Podged it onto the dice and let it dry. Then I used these pieces from a package of felt bunnies from Dollar Tree. I used 2 sets of ears, tiny pom-poms, 1 pink and 2 black, and the mouth came from one of those tinsel bunnies from the Dollar Tree. I used all these to craft out his face. And for those toes, I used 2 sets of ears and added these cute little sticker dots. And now it's time to put them together. I hot glued a couple of pieces of a chenille stem around those ears just to firm them up and help them stand better before gluing them on. And I also used one to make him some whiskers. I glued all the face pieces with hot glue, and as an afterthought I added that cute little bow tie that I saw. For those other 2 blocks, I used some letters from the Dollar Tree. Feel free to use your Cricut or your Silhouette. I don't always use mine in these videos because I know everyone doesn't have them, and I like to give people options. I used the H and the P and a coat of Mod Podge over them so the letters wouldn't peel off, and he was done. So cute and the perfect little addition for your tier trays. As always, I appreciate you spending your time with me. I hope you found some inspiration in my video because that's my intent. I really hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. It helps it grow. And if you saw something you like, hit that thumbs up button and don't be shy with your comments. I hope to see you next time, and until then, keep those glue guns at the ready.